Side 2 is going to be very much better than side 1 was, because I was pretty well sober when I recorded side 1. Me and old Jim now is pretty much drunk, and now we're going to try side 2 till we get tired of it and then quit. How's that grab you?
Still on?
Yes, I'm going strong.
Yeah, me and old Sam sitting here drinking beer, defending your rights to drink beer on Saturday night. I forget what the day is. We've been working pretty hard. Second day of September?
2nd of September.
Where's your Seco?
Over there, but it's the 2nd day of September.
Yeah, okay, Sam assures me it's 2nd day of September. I've got 217 days to go to freedom, DRO, CTS, and all that good stuff. I guess he's been telling you about all the good times we've been having over here. Raising hell, having a lot of fun. Sure was surprised to see old Sam when I got over here. I guess works both ways. He's pretty surprised to see me coming. But we've been having pretty good time since I got here.
The only reason we've been having a good time is because beer is only 15 cents. And when beer is 15 cents, and you got a night off, you don't have nothing extra to do, you usually drink a few of them 15-cent beers.
It's only a dime now.
A dime?
Yeah, it's only a dime now.
They went down?
Yeah.
When?
When you bought that ice box.
All right, yeah, that's right. Jim, we got a refrigerator in the room, of course, and beer's worth a dime now. So, me and Jim usually drink a couple once in a while. We're not above drinking the beer. Even during fierce combat zone as we're in right now, we'll still grab a beer once in a while. So, me and Jim undoubtedly will have a pretty good time here. It was kind of a odd coincidence to ever see him again. Of course, I thought it was kind of a coincidence that I saw him in OCS. I thought that was really something. Don't blame me. OCS, Fort Belvoir. That wasn't near as big a coincidence to see him again here in Vietnam in the same outfit. So. Kind of makes the days go faster. Of course, the days ain't going too fast right now, but it still makes the days go just a little bit faster. Thank you, Jim. You just heard live on live tape recording. I'll let you guess what you just heard live on the tape. I'll give you a hint. It took a beer can opener to produce that sound.
Yeah, me and old Sam sitting here drinking beer tonight, and I guess you can tell by the way we're talking, we've had a pretty good start already. So, just to warn you, like we do in all cases when we get drunk and get a hold of this tape recorder, anything we say or do tonight is strictly off the record, because we're not technically responsible for anything that we say or do tonight. This old Miller is the best we can get tonight, so you'll just have to put up with it. We have been having a pretty good time. We're spending all of our money on photography equipment, and it's a pretty good race as to who's spending the most on this Shutterbug stuff. I think me and old Sam running pretty close tie right now. My wife probably kill me when I get home because I'll be carrying so much photography equipment and won't be able to walk. And we've been having a pretty good time over here. Every once in a while, jump in the old Jeep, head for Vung Tau, and take a few pictures and drink a few beers, raise hell in general. Been having a lot of fun.
Well, like I say, me and old Jim has got some pretty good photography equipment. Old Jim got him a lens that's about 2 foot long. It's what they call a zoom lens. It's from 75 to 230 millimeter lens. Lens you buy on the camera is about a 55 millimeter lens. But old Jim's got one that was 230. Well, I couldn't let Jim get the best of me. So I went and got me a 400. And it's about 2.5 foot long, weighs 47 pounds, big joker, and pretty powerful lens. In fact, set up on top row of Owen Stadium in Oklahoma State University. Take a close-up of the quarterback, take a portrait of the quarterback as he backs off and throws his pass. Pretty good camera, yes. What's wrong?
Yeah, I got to looking for old Sam today. I called all over looking for him, called the orderly room. Where's Pfenning? I said, well, I don't know, sir. Last I saw him, he's headed for the barge loading site. So I hung up, called barge loading site. Where's Pfenning? I don't know, sir. Last I saw him, he's headed for the rock quarry. So I hung up, called rock quarry, and where's Pfenning? Well, I don't know, sir. Last I saw him, he's headed for the orderly room. So, well, hell, I know where Pfenning is. So I come over here, and sure enough, there he is, in the sack. It is only 1:30 in the afternoon. So I pretty well know where to get a hold of Sam from now on. Seeing as how he's only got about 30 days left, he'll probably spend about, well, I start to say every other afternoon, but knowing Sam, he'll probably spend every afternoon in the sack for the next 30 days. I guess he's resting up so he can make that train trip to Kansas, watch Oklahoma whip the dog out of KU, which undoubtedly will be the case. We've been keeping up with all the good haps over here, and looks like Oklahoma State's really going to stomp this year.
Well, it looks like old Jim told on me. Of course, I had a good excuse. Last night I had OD. So naturally, I take equivalent amount of hours off, go here and go to bed and go to sleep till maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
What about the days you don't have OD?
Well, the days I don't have OD, well, I'll just have to come over here. I maybe have to get up at 12 o'clock. No, to be quite frank with you, I'm just going to quit work for 30 days. I'll quit work. The old captain that got here last week, he only knows 2 words now. His whole vocabulary is this: where's Pfenning? Where's Pfenning? Hadn't seen him all day. Well, don't know where he is, sir. He's probably out working his ass off somewhere, no doubt. Well, fine. Of course, Pfenning, you're pretty well asleep till about 3 o'clock this afternoon. tomorrow, I want to work pretty hard, though. I plan to get up pretty early, around noon, and give it my up dose for a couple, 3 hours before I come back, rest up. Just load that barge, load that barge, you know. Got a word today that made my quota for the month of, let's see, August. Made it with 160 tons to spare. So,
Jesus Christ, you hear that?
no, what happened?
Hope it's outgoing mail.
We heard just, I didn't hear nothing, but Jim just now heard something that sounded like outgoing type round, right? And outgoing rounds are better than incoming rounds for this reason. An outgoing round don't hurt you. But those incoming rounds tend to mess a fella up once in a while. Never fear, though. Incoming rounds never bother me and Jim. Being from Oklahoma State University, Cowboys, we're immune to all slope attacks.
That's right.
No slope can ever get me and Jim.
That's right.
And Jim is agreeing with me, and he's chomping at the bit. Here he is.
Yeah, I'm proud to say that we got the best fighting team over here right now. 2 Oklahoma State grads are really stomping old Charles. We put the fear of God in them. All we got to do is just drive down the road, and they scatter like coveys of quail. That ain't quite the case, but sounds good, don't it? Anyway, we really put the fear of God in these gooks.
I promised Pop before I left I'd give him an ear. I'm afraid, though, you best go up and tell Pop that I still don't have no ear. And there's a good chance I might not be able to get him one.
Where you get them?
Well, we can get one, but, you know,
There's a slope laying up on the bridge halfway between here and Bearcat, still laying there.
he is.
Yeah.
Well, Jim just offered me some good news. There's a slope between here and Bearcat that they hadn't placed up yet. You don't go get it?
They shot his head off, but his ear's still there.
Well, you don't go pick up the ear?
I don't care to go up.
Well, it's too far away, so I guess we still ain't got no ear. But I promised Bowie one too, and I still didn't give Bowie his ear. Of course, we kind of repulsed Bowie. He's got a tape recorder too, and we kind of repulsed him here. I gotta go take a piss. I'll let Jim give you a few words of wisdom here while I'm gone, okay?
Yeah, we've been looking for every chance to get us a slope ear, but we haven't had much luck yet. After I got here to Vung Tau, well, I thought old Slope was going to get my ear. I'd only been here about 7 days, and I moved in a room about 2 doors down from where we're living now. And about the 7th day I was here, well, I went to bed as usual, you know, and laying there, and all of a sudden I heard this boom, you know, and what the hell's going on? And boy, about that time, here come a whole bunch of them, and boom, you know, and they just kept coming in. And so I decided, well, I believe I'd just best crawl under my bunk and stay there a while. And old Charles was raising a little hell around here that night. Of course, me being a newcomer, well, didn't really faze me too much. I just sort of laid under the bunk there and listened to all the good haps. So I thought, well, hell, I'll go and see what old Sam's doing. So come in the room, there's old Sam laying there sound asleep. And said, "Hey, Sam, get up." I said, "Huh? What's going on?" "Yeah, old Charles Mortar us." I said, "Huh? Get out of here, leave me alone." I said, "Yeah, come on, get up. Old Charles Mortar us." And finally took me serious, because I stand there, had on steel pot and flak jacket, had my M16. It's about 1:30 at night, and it is pretty funny, really. But since then, we sort of been pretty cautious about any loud noises that happen to come buzzing in late at night. Old Charles, we've always had it in the back of our minds, he just liable to try that nonsense again. But we've been sort of lucky. Actually, we haven't seen too much of this blood and guts stuff that you hear about on the news. Seeing as how Vung Tau's the R&R center of Vietnam and all that good stuff. Actually, it's not that good. It's still a hot, dirty place, no matter how you look at it.
Well, looks like old Jim spilled the beans. The first mortar attack, severe mortar attack we ever went through, 35 rounds of 122 Russian-made rockets popping all around here, blowing up barracks, airplanes, and everybody, and a few men, of course. And I didn't even hear it. Slept right through it. But I heard the second one, though. We had two that night. The next one I heard because I was awake, but that just goes to show you that I'm a pretty sound sleeper. You can sleep through a mortar attack with 122 millimeter Russian-made rockets popping all around here, 35 of them going boom, boom, and all this stuff. You're a pretty good sleeper, I'll say that. And that's one thing I can do good. I can sure sleep. Well, it looks like the the presidential nomination is between Richard Nixon and Hubert H. Humphrey. And I'm sure that the average citizen is trying to make up his mind whether to vote for Richard Nixon or Hubert Humphrey. Fortunately, I'm not the average citizen. I know who I'll vote for, and it's not Hubert Humphrey. Well, it's not Richard Nixon. It is Big George. Big George Wallace. He'll get us out of a bind. He'll back us. He'll pull this country out of a mess. He'd be a good president, and I want to vote for him. In fact, I'll be home in time to vote. But I'll fix up an absentee ballot anyway. I'll just vote absentee, and I'll vote for old George Wallace, because he is the best man. Spread the word. Tell all the people that George is it. And
I can't remember for sure when's the last time I saw you. I guess it's when I was still in OCS. About a couple weeks before old Sam got out of there. I still remember all the help y'all gave me when I was going through that hellhole. I never will forget how good you were to me, and I sure did appreciate all you did for me. You probably remember a little incident I went through while I was in OCS. Something about slipping off a horizontal ladder there, and spending a few days in the hospital.
That was the time he busted his nuts.
Yeah, well, I run a little potency test right after I got out of OCS, and sure enough, it come out positive. I got a big old bouncing baby boy now, about 6-7 months old. I forgot how old he is. Anyway, he's doing real good, and he's with my wife back in Arkansas. They're down there in the foothills of Ouachita Mountains, and my wife is teaching school in Waldron. She just started, I think about the 31st day of August, she started teaching school. And she's down there in Old Bowie's country, really. She went by to see Old Bowie about 2 months ago, and he was on vacation, so she didn't get to meet him. I think she met him once. You might remember you and Sam and Bowie and his wife was up in the student union. I brought her up, and I think you all met her, but probably can't remember. She couldn't remember meeting Bowie and his wife before. Anyway, we plan on staying down there in the Arkansas hills for a while. After I get home, I'll go back to work for Forest Service and stay in that part of the country for a little while anyway.
Well, it looks like we're going to get all this taped after all. Yeah, there's outgoing motor rounds going out right now. As long as they're going out, we're okay. They go thump, 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 about like a heartbeat. And it's a good sound. There goes another one. Because them motor rounds are going out, they're going out on top of some gook. Ah, there goes another one. Some gook is getting a bad time. When I was down in Dong Tam, they had these big artillery guns going out all the time, and they really made racket. Of course, unfortunately, Charles got mad at them and put one right in on top of the barracks about a couple weeks after I got away from there. So kind of got revenge on them.
Old Sam probably told you about it, but I got baptized to the rigors of combat right after I got here. Had to run a damned old convoy up through Long Bend, Saigon, down to a little old hole in the road called Benluck, deliver some ARV independent housing material and construction material. Sort of a stupid type thing to have to do, but well, that's what we're over here to do, is all kinds of stupid things. But anyway, had pretty good opportunity to get in some combat points. Got shot at quite often and quite vigorously. Real interesting experience. All I can say about it is that you never really been scared till you've been shot at and missed. Because if you ever get shot at and hit, you never know what happened.
Yeah, them old Kong let me down. Made a deal with old Jim before he left that if the Kong got him, well, I got all his camera stuff, you know. Them jokers missed him.
That works two ways.
Of course, that works both ways. When I go out, well, old Jim, you know, if old Charles gets me, well, then he gets all my camera stuff. And every time I come back in, well, you see this disappointed look and this frown on his face. Oh, my God. They
Tell her all she'll get back is mail.
Yeah.
That's right. I get all the rest.
No, me and Jim willed everything to each other, and old Charles gets him. Well, I get all his stuff. So every time he goes out in the convoy, well, boy, I say, "Come on, Charles." You know, if I knew a call, well, I'd try to write him a letter and something and say, "Hey, old Jim's heading down the road. Why don't you get him?" You know, so I get his single lens reflex. I get his Sheikah, I get his Rolling 35 and his zoom lens, plus his tripod. Boy, I mean, all kinds of good stuff. So it's kind of a standard joke between us. So old Charles gets old Jim, well, I get his stuff, and old Charles gets me, well, old Jim gets my stuff. Of course, Charles ain't gonna get me because I'm too smart for old Charlie. Of course, I don't know about Jim though. He went through pretty hairy convoy. I quit taking convoys. I don't take anymore, so I'm pretty safe. I don't take no more convoys anymore. I quit taking convoys.
Of course, old Sam hadn't reached the critical point yet. The critical point is 27 days. When you get past 27, we usually got it made. Seeing as how the battalion just recently lost 2 men that had 27 days to go in country, well, that sort of established the fact that that's a critical point. These 2 guys had sort of set them up a pattern of running up and down the road every day at a certain time, and old Charles got wise to that nonsense and set a little charge of dynamite in a culvert. And these 2 guys just happened to drive over that culvert bright and early one morning, and that was the last thing they ever did. And pretty gory, really, because they brought them down to me, seeing as how I'm the S4 here in the battalion, and that's part of my job is handling dead bodies and all that good stuff. They brought them down to me, and I took them over to Mortar, and it's pretty bad news, really, because first thing carried in was a foot, next thing carried in was an arm, and then what was left of the rest. And you just really don't realize what war is like till you get close to something like that's happened, and then it really gives you the ass, you know. You get pretty dadgum disgusted, old Charles, and see something like that go on, because pretty well wakes you up as to what's going on over here. Of course, me and old Sam, we've been having a good time, but we've sort of been watching our ducks too, keeping them lined up behind us. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Old Sam be home about 30 days. And if you don't make it, well, don't worry about all the rest, because I've got all of it: camera equipment, radio, big T-op tape recorder deck here, and fan, electric skillet, camera, tripod, and just about everything else. Big old bottle of Jack Daniels sitting there. Boy, I got my eye on that. If he ever gets zapped, well, I got me a 5th Jack Daniels.
No sweat on that, though. It works both ways, son. If old Jim ever gets it, well, I got his cigarette lighter, his pipe, all his camera equipment and stuff, and we can live happily ever after.